What's up, Moon Lords? I'm back with another AMC Financial Astrology video update that we do each and every week. You're watching a Market Moon Lord where we merge the matrix with your stars. I'm the host, Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon and Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. And my gosh, last week was crazy, but this week is going to be even crazier. And I got good news for you guys because this week we're entering a new moon. We have a new moon on October 6th, and man, this is one of those new moons that I'm really excited for many reasons. We'll get into that later. But as you guys can see, last week was just absolutely crazy, very volatile. We definitely saw that coming. I was hoping that we were going to stay around this this $39 level because that was the level after the full moon pop that we had in the last moon phase. That didn't happen. We hovered around that for a few days, and then it bounces to the actual real low of the last waning period, which is around the $34 level. You can see it right here, just kind of inched in there. So you can see over here on the last phase, waning phase. You guys know the black background is the waning phase when the moon is dying and about to become a new moon again. That's typically when we get the lows. So you can see the low on the last one was around that $34 mark, and that was before the full moon pop. You can see right here, we started popping. Before the pop, we did enter it right here, and that's where we fell. Okay, we didn't hold this range at the $39 level, but you can see that we've bounced and we came right back to that $39 level. Okay, so we have a few more days of waning period, and then we have the new moon on, I want to say on Wednesday. It's going to happen on the 6th. Let's see. Yep, that is a Wednesday. We have a new moon, and we can kind of see that Friday and Thursday we kind of start heading up, and hopefully by the time Wednesday comes around, we should definitely be above this $39 level. But preferably, I want to see us on this green line, the $43 level, because you can see that that's where we were on the last waning period. We kind of popped into that full moon above that line. Okay, so if we come into Wednesday around that $43 level, we're showing a lot of strength into this new moon phase. Okay, now the best position we could be into the new moon would be this $52 level up here, because that would start us way above. That would start us above the high of the last waxing moon when the moon is growing. Okay, but if we start above this green line, you can see here, that's where it started on the last waxing phase. I'll be really happy to start above that $43 level coming into Wednesday. Okay, now when we look at the technicals, we can see the MACD is starting to lessen the selling pressure. Okay, and that's in trend coming into that new moon. It looks like by the time that new moon happens, we could be at the last days of the red on the MACD. We can see that the RSI is still oversold, but we did start heading up on the daily just a little bit. Okay, so that's good. And then on the stochastic, we're starting to head up as well. The red or the blue past the red line right there. So it is looking like we could come into that reversal entering that new moon. And that's exciting, okay? And we need that. We definitely need that. Now, on this new moon phase, we have a lot of planets that are going to be doing very crazy things. We have Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, and Pluto all going direct. Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto have been going retrograde for a long time. So please believe October is going to be a very eventful month in the world, in the stock market, and with AMC. Okay, and me and Emily are probably going to do a live Monday to talk about what we see in the overall stock market for that October time with all those plans going direct. I got my eye on the full moon because on October 20th, which is over here on the full moon, we will have all the planets direct by then, and 2 days before that, Mercury and Jupiter go direct. And Jupiter is the planet of abundance and luck, and Mercury definitely rules a lot to do with the stock market. Okay, so wow, this month looks crazy. We're going to look at the stars and see what we see. But before we do that, if you want to show support, go ahead and hit the like button. If you're new here and haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And if you haven't checked us out at the Market Moon Lord Discord, definitely check us out. A lot of great people in there. Okay, all right, so let's check out the stars. Welcome to the Market Moon Lord, where we merge the matrix with the stars. I'm your host, Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune, here to help you navigate through The illusions of life. Okay, so we have Monday pulled up, October 4th, 9:30, market open. And the chart does look a lot better than it did last week. Last week it just it was pretty nasty looking. But I brought the dip, and I hope you guys brought the dip too. But this week looks a lot better. We're still dealing with certain transits that were in play last week, and the ones that I'm looking at was what's happening with this Mars. Mars is still square Pluto. The good news is it's starting to pull away from the Pluto. Mars is 12 degrees. This Pluto is 10 degrees. So it's starting to loosen, which is good. But the problem we're having is now the sun is doing exactly what Pluto did last week. Or excuse me, now the sun is doing exactly what Mars did last week and is making a square to the moon. And it's making a square to Pluto, okay? And based on history, this is pretty bearish, okay? However, there is some good stuff happening in the chart. But yeah, this would still show some cutting energy. This could, even since the sun's involved, we could potentially get some bad news about AMC, where a deal didn't go through because Pluto's trying to make deals, trying to transform things. And that could be potential, especially since the sun is in AMC's 8th house of transformations. Okay. So maybe the company is trying to make some type of deal and the deal isn't going to go through. Maybe we find that out. Or maybe this just translates into, a lot of volatility to the downside. However, there's some positive stuff that will show volatility to the upside. But yeah, that was the same thing Mars was doing last week, and now the sun is doing it. The sun is making a square to Pluto, 0 degrees, and a square to AMC's moon. Now, the cool thing is the sun will start going away from those things coming into Tuesday. So Monday looks like a little bit of warfare, okay? Sun is conjunct Mars. It's making an aspect to Pluto. This is very, very intense energy, very volatile energy for sure, okay? And then Tuesday, the sun will be conjunct Mars, and then it will be strictly on Pluto, and yeah, that's also a little bearish to me. However, when we look at this day, I want to look at Mercury, because Mercury is one of the best things for AMC. It's making that 0 degree square to Neptune. Has been doing that, okay? And Neptune is retrograde, but look at what it's doing to Mercury, sextiling Mercury, but Mercury's retrograde, and Mercury sextiling Jupiter, but Jupiter's retrograde. You see the R right here? R right here? And R right here, okay? So Mercury, the best thing to get aspected on AMC is getting hit by major planets, but they're all retrograde. So what does that tell us, okay? Something's building up. Okay, something's building up, something's building tension, and when they go direct in the middle of October, it's not going to be this week, but the following week, that's going to be some serious energy because it's all hitting Mercury, okay? So there's something in play with AMC where they're trying to make a deal, Mercury energy. It looks like the deal is going to be very expansive, Jupiter energy. And it also looks like the deal will be creative, or whatever they're trying to do is going to be a creative thing, very creative, very unique. Neptune and Pisces, okay? But we are going to have to worry. We are going to have to wait for those things to go forward. They're going stationary right now, so they're very, very, very strong, okay? But there's still going to be restriction. Okay, but that is very bullish energy. Mercury getting hit by Mercury. That could also show news. Not if it wasn't retrograde, I would say definitely. But since retrograde, we might get news, maybe. But we're more than likely to get news when it goes direct. Okay, if I'm being honest. But I am looking forward to that. This is not a time to be paper handing with Mercury getting powerful aspects from those two retrograde planets. I would not be paper handing. I will be waiting for those planets to go direct. I know Jupiter goes direct on October. Jupiter and Mercury go direct together, and they're going to be going direct together, making an aspect to this Mercury on October 18th. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that full moon on October 20th. Okay. Now, one thing I do like that's happening in the chart, other than that stuff, is what's happening with Venus. Venus is officially in the midheaven of AMC. That is the career sector. We know Venus plays a major role in AMC because Venus conjuncts the ascendant, okay? And Venus up here is now in the midheaven, okay? Venus wants to make things beautiful in the midheaven. present things beautifully in the world. It wants to make sure everything looks like aesthetically pleasing. This is really good for the company's branding, really good for the company getting attention. People just loving AMC, okay? And so I definitely, especially since Venus is in Scorpio, I definitely see some more branding transformations with AMC. That is pretty bullish energy because Venus is making a sextile to Venus, okay? I'm not sure why my camera keeps going blurry. There we go. Venus is making a sextile to Venus, and Venus is direct. So I do expect some more branding changes with AMC that could be very bullish energy. Now, the midheaven is getting a sextile from Pluto, which is very, very nice. And it's getting a trine from Neptune, which is very nice. Really good energy working behind the scenes. And it looks like AMC is forced to work on the scenes, especially with legal matters, because Jupiter is getting square here, forcing them to deal with something legally. And you guys know Jupiter is retrograde. So whatever we're dealing with legally behind the scenes is still in play. And it looks like we're taking care of business beautifully. Now, when I look at this, Jupiter is making a sextile to the moon on Monday, the transiting moon, which is very expansive like energy and a stabilized energy since the moon is in Virgo. Okay. So I do expect some volatility into Monday. It could go either way because this Sun square, Pluto was the same thing that Mars was doing last week, and that did translate into bad price action. Okay, let's jump into Tuesday. Okay, so we have Tuesday pulled up, market open. We're looking at October 5th, 2021, 9:30 a.m. And yeah, Tuesday looks a lot better than Monday. I'm actually surprised because I thought the sun was going to look a little bit more ugly up here. But see, now Mars is no longer making an aspect to Pluto. Okay, so a release of tension coming into Tuesday looks beautiful. Now the sun is still doing what it was doing the day before, but it's passing all those things, okay? Now the sun is 12 degrees, Pluto is 10 degrees, okay? So it's passing that Pluto, it's passing that moon. So lots of release of tension coming into Tuesday. I'm looking forward to Tuesday. The moon is also making some beautiful aspects, 0 degree trine to the ascendant, 0 and a 1 degree trine to Venus. Very good for attention, and to me, this will form nice and steady price action to the upside, okay? Because the moon is in Virgo, and that's a very stabilizing energy. So I'm definitely looking for Tuesday to move up slowly based on that aspect. Venus is now making a 0 degree sextile to Venus. Very good for the branding, aesthetics, communication, potentially merger energy, because Venus is in Scorpio. Venus does rule money, it does rule relationships, so merger activity or someone coming in to invest under AMC. It could be the people, it could be a partner, but yeah, there could be something going on with some merger energy with AMC, but I feel like we're not going to get it revealed to us because of this Mercury sextile, and Mercury is retrograde. But since it is 0 degree on this day, Tuesday does look like an interesting day to receive some catalyst like news. Okay, and then remember, Jupiter is also making that aspect to Mercury. Now, keep in mind the natal Mars is making a positive aspect to Saturn, and that's been there for a minute. And then the natal Saturn is making a positive aspect to Uranus, which is always going to, or to Neptune, which has been there. And Saturn is in Scorpio, Neptune is in Pisces, taking care of business behind the scenes. Those are positive aspects. If there were negative aspects, I would say that's pretty bearish. But since they're positive, I'm just going to say is allowing everything to stay neutral. Tuesday does look good to me. Okay, let's jump into Wednesday. Okay, so I literally just pulled up Wednesday, and I'm so happy that this is happening without it being in any aspect to Pluto. Okay. Thank gosh, okay, because right when we enter that new moon on Wednesday, the sun moved off that square to Pluto, which is really good sign, okay? So right during the new moon, we have a major release of tension, okay, which is great. So it's like a very new beginning right off the rip. Now this is happening, that's new moon, and you guys know a new moon is when the moon meets the sun. A full moon is when the moon is opposite the sun, looking at each other. Okay, so the moon met the sun. It's now a new moon. We're getting a new moon in Libra. What is Libra? Libra is the planet of abundance, the planet of indulge, or the sign of abundance, indulging, harmony, peace, beauty, the artist. It also has a lot to do with money as Venus energy, okay? And it has a lot to do with balancing, okay? So look for things to get nice and balanced out onto this new moon. Look for things to be fair, because Libra, since it represents balance, it represents fairness. It also has a lot to do with justice, okay? So maybe this new moon, AMC is gonna get justice for itself. We're gonna get justice for as investors. Okay, things are gonna be more fair in the market potentially, especially with AMC. All right, so a new moon in Libra, especially since it's no longer squaring all that energy up there, is no longer squaring Pluto, looks very bullish because Libra literally wants things to just be beautiful. Okay. And it's funny because that's happening. Venus, the sign that rules Libra, is making a 0-degree sextile to AMC's Venus and a 1-degree sextile to the ascendant, which really tells me that we could really be getting some major branding changes coming into October. Some major branding changes because all is happening in Libra. And in Venus sextiling Venus, like AMC is definitely trying to make some changes aesthetically, branding wise, and this could show some really good energy for mergers and more investors really. So I'm really feeling what I'm seeing on this new moon coming into Wednesday. Now, this new moon isn't making any aspects to the chart, which I'm totally fine with because it would have been, if it was day before, it would have been squaring that Pluto very nasty. So I'm totally okay with that, okay? The Venus, sextiling Venus in 0 degrees is very, very bullish to me, okay? Mercury is still making a 0-degree sextile to Mercury, which is also bullish. Jupiter is doing the same exact thing, okay? So and look, we literally have that one red line with Neptune, which has been there for months, right? But it's making very positive aspects to midheaven and Saturn. And the other red line that we have is, what is it? I see two. We got. Okay, yeah, and then the midheaven square in Jupiter, which will show, since midheaven is in Scorpio, Jupiter has a lot to do with justice. Okay, we're still taking care of things behind the scenes, okay, and remember, Jupiter is retrograde, but it's going to go direct October 18th, and man, the legal troubles may be over around that time. There could be a lot of new rules happening around AMC, like maybe there's no more dark pool trading, delay order flow, but there's going to be some really nice legal matters, justice being changed for AMC in this Libra season into this moon phase, waiting for that full moon pop on the 20th. All right, but I do like what I see on Tuesday, and I do like what I see on Wednesday. If I mention anything that makes sense to you guys, let me know. Do you guys think we're going to look good next week? And tell me what you guys see with the legal matters with AMC, or tell me what you see with the branding, because it looks like we're making a lot of branding changes this week. Okay, so I'm feeling this week so far. Monday's a little, Tuesday looks pretty good. Wednesday's new moon looks what's up. It's in the sign of Libra. A lot of aesthetic changes, a lot of artistic changes. I see a lot of people going to the movie theaters during Libra season because it's just a time of just like having fun and indulging and enjoying yourself. That's perfect for AMC. And so this new moon season looks really good for AMC right off the rip. Now I have Thursday pulled up. October 7th to 2021. We got market open 9:30, and let's see what we see. Now the sun and Mars are officially 0 degrees conjunct. Okay, they're not making any aspects to anything, so I'm happy about that. The moon is pulling up on AMC's North Node coming into Monday. Now, or excuse me, coming into Thursday. Now it is making a square 0 degrees to the ascendant and to Venus. Okay, I do not particularly care for that. Okay, but I will say the moon is in the 29th degree of Libra. It's just, if this does cause a little bit of downside, it immediately goes to 0 degree of Scorpio, which we guys know Scorpio represents transformation, sudden changes. Okay, so if we do get a little downside coming into Thursday, we're probably going to bounce right back up when the moon goes into Scorpio 0 degree, which will be within a few hours. Okay, so I'm not too worried about this aspect. Because we have a lot of positive stuff. We still have the Mercury sextiling Mercury. It is now making a square to Jupiter. Jupiter is dealing with legal matters. But then the natal or the transiting Jupiter is also making a sextile to Mercury. So I'm not worried about that at all. It just looks like we're still dealing with a lot of legal problems, maybe coming into Thursday after the new moon, we find out something else messed up or malicious that the hedge funds are doing, and we're going to continue to expose them. Okay, Venus is still making a very powerful sextile to Venus, now 0 degrees on the ascendant, which is really good for getting attention to AMC. This is happening in the sign of Sagittarius now. Wow. And Venus is 0 degrees Sagittarius at that. Okay, Sagittarius is a planet of the sign of expansion, experience, long distance travel, different cultures, learning, justice, philosophy. This is very, very positive for expansion, very, very positive for good luck, very positive for anything creative in the artist, very positive for legal matters and fairness. Okay, so I really, really, really like that, and we know 0 degrees is very, very powerful. So we have 2 planets going to be 0 degrees coming into Thursday. So Thursday's starting to look like some fireworks. Okay, I do like what I see with Thursday. It can go either way, but I do expect it to see a little red and then for it to go a little green right after that. Okay, it's going to be sudden changes, and not to mention the moon will be going over the North Node for AMC, which is to me pretty bullish. Okay, so yeah, I am liking Thursday, even though we do have a couple harsh aspects. I do like Thursday. Okay, all right, let's jump into Friday. Okay, so I have Friday pulled up 9:30 a.m. And it does look like we have a little bit of turmoil. We have the sun making a square to Jupiter, along with Mercury no longer making that sextile to Mercury. So we had like a release of good energy coming into Friday, and now it's making a square 0 degrees to Jupiter. And that doesn't look great. I mean, Mercury's trying to balance something out with AMC, especially in the 8th house of resources. Jupiter is in the 6th house of overall well-being, is getting 2 nasty squares from the sun and from Mercury. So this could look like something, especially since Mercury's retrograde, something from the past could be coming up where AMC is going to have to deal with it. It could be a legal thing. Okay, it could be some type of business partner that maybe not happy with AMC. That's not looking the most positive energy, okay, for sure. So I'm not caring for that at all. Not to mention the sun is conjunct Mars, which is the cutting like energy, kind of bearish energy right there. So Friday does look like it could be potentially a little bearish, okay. Let me see something here. Okay, now I went a few hours on Friday. I went to 12:30. And we do have a little bit of a saving grace because the moon will be making a very nice trine to Jupiter, and that will be 0 degrees at some point in the day. So I do like that because that could be very expansive like energy. And that's when Jupiter is getting some nasty hits from Mercury and the sun. Okay, so it does look like we could be getting some bad news in the morning, and then by afternoon it settles down. Then we get some positive energy and trading coming into the afternoon. But Mercury getting that nasty square to the moon or to Jupiter doesn't look that positive. It could show some bad news, but then the moon pulls up on Jupiter shortly after that, and it looks like everything's going to be okay. So Friday looks like it's going to be a little up and down. It's probably more than likely going to be more of a neutral day. And look at Venus making a square to Neptune, which should also show something going on with legal matters. We might be suddenly, because it's in Sagittarius, suddenly we could just find out some new information Friday, and it won't be the best. But then Venus is making a sextile to the ascendant, and it looks like we're going to be handling it a-okay. All right, so Friday looks a little shaky, okay, I'm not going to lie, but their overall week to me looks pretty good. So if you guys agree with me or have any comments or know anything about your own DD, please drop it in the comments below. I really, really appreciate it. I also appreciate you guys being here and watching this video as always. And if you are a Moonlord and haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. And if you are a Moonlord and you're subscribed but not in the Moonlord Discord, you're missing out. Check us out, the Mark Moonlord Discord. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you want to show support on this video, go ahead and hit the like button. I'm your host, Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune, here to help you navigate through the illusions of life. You're watching the Market Moonlord, where we merge the Matrix with the motherfucking stars. I'm excited for this week because we're finally in the motherfucking new moon. We fucking needed it. I'm sorry, I'm cursing a lot. I'm just getting hyped. Anyway, until next time, peace.
Jason Alexander, the Blue Moon of Neptune.